Do you think they know what that is?
I bet they could guess.
It's Celsius. Celsius, sponsor us. Please, where are you? We love you.
Yeah, what the heck, man? Anyway, hi.
Hi, this is my second day in a row of having coffee and then immediately chasing it with the Celsius. But you know what I did? Between that, shoved 3 Girl Scout cookies in my mouth that you brought.
Oh, I mean, I'm here for it.
Because if I'm an adult, I can do that, which is awesome when you remember that you have free will. It's like my favorite thing.
Yeah, no, it gets me in trouble.
Yeah, it sure does. But like, life is short. Eat the cookie, whatever.
I ate so many Girl Scout cookies yesterday. It was silly.
Did you do a little charcuterie board of them of different flavors?
No, that's brilliant though.
Yeah, mix it up.
Oh.
Welcome to Disrespectfully
with Katie Maloney
and Dana Cathan.
Unapologetically,
We're here to do what we want to do.
spilling the tea.
Babe, you're gonna see the power of women. Like,
Disrespectfully.
I did the worst thing you can do is bring the sleeve of Thin Mints to the couch.
oh, I thought you were gonna say like killed a lover or something. Okay, good.
No.
Nick's still here. He's still with us. Good.
Where you just sit there and you just pop them in your mouth like they're potato chips.
That's honestly how I get my steps in sometimes, is getting up for the cookie and getting back down. And I like tell myself I'll bring 1 cookie to the couch and I'm kind of settled, and then I just get up, get down, get up.
You try to take little teeny bites out of it to savor it.
Yeah. And it's never, I was actually saying before we started recording that I don't think in my lifetime I've ever eaten less than 3 regular sized cookies in a setting.
Oh,
And it's
yeah.
like, unless it's one big giant one, which I'll probably still eat more than 1.
Just cookies are so good. Do you know what cookies I was talking about the other day?
Apparently you talk about cookies a lot. Tell us.
Well, because I was asking Nick what his favorite cookie was. Like, that you get at the grocery store, not like something special, but I have 2.
What are they?
I really like those Chips Deluxe with the like M&M candies.
When I was
them?
just saying at the
Ooh.
couch, that's what I usually get. They're
Oh my God.
so good.
But even more than that, I love those elf fudge cookies. The Keebler, they're like shaped like little elves.
With the drizzle on? Oh no, I was thinking the little circle ones.
No. Oh, those are great too.
Those are good.
The the ones that are shaped like little elves, and they have like the fudge center. They're like a sandwich cookie.
I don't know if I've ever had that. I know what you're talking about.
Oh my God.
Yeah, I was thinking the drizzle. I love those.
I'm gonna change your life. I've always, and it's the thing is like I always like bring like a stack of them.
Yeah, absolutely. That's what I'm saying. It's smarter. Can I air a grievance?
Sure.
It's not quite basement, but it is frustrating. So what is with all the king size candy exclusively at gas stations now? First of all, wishful thinking. I was like, you know what? I have been disappointed with the candy selection at my theater of choice. And it's king size, so or double king size. So you always waste it if you're not eating it all. And so I was like, I'm going to get a little stockpile of my favorite candies and then like bring them in individually like I used to in the 90s.
Yeah.
And it was all king sized. It was all like 2 for 1. And then we had really stressful fires and I ate the whole thing. I ate the whole stockpile in about 2 days. So I don't know. I just think it's bullshit.
That hasn't been my experience when I was recently at 7-Eleven, because I stared into that aisle for, I don't know, a solid 15 minutes. And then a bunch of teenagers walked in and I got scared and I left.
Teenagers can't
But
be
I
scary.
got some regular size candy.
Well, I feel like some of them have it, but like one of my favorite candy bars, which I feel like I've talked about before, is a Fast Break. It's so good.
Is that the Reese's?
Yeah, it's a Reese's, but it has nougat. So it's like Reese's with nougat. So it's truly and delicious, but just hits all my things. It was only king size. And I do like to think that I'm a nice king, but
I know how much you love candy bar ice cream.
oof.
Okay. Like the,
the
like
Milky
the
Way
Snickers,
ones that
the
Floor
Milky
always
Way,
has.
the Twix.
Mm-hmm.
Guess what they're coming out with? They're coming out with a Reese's and 100 grand. And there's one other one I can't remember. Maybe it was like a Baby Ruth or
I
something.
haven't had those in so long.
Yeah.
Delicious. I do always stick, because it was king size and there were 4 Reese's cups and I'm like, who needs this? I do apparently. I always stick those in the freezer. That's a freezer one for me.
Ooh, yeah.
Again, my veneers hate to see me buying a Reese's.
I'm not a big in the Reese's cup. I'll just eat it. Let's face it. I either like the little mini size Reese's that you can pop in your mouth, or when they have like the like whatever holiday it is and it's a shape like the Christmas tree ones and the egg, the Easter egg one.
I
Just
will say,
go hard.
those are different. They taste different. Like they're softer or something. But yeah, I love the holiday ones.
Yeah, I don't know why they just hit differently.
Also, I was trying not to stress about my candy intake because I was obviously staving off other vices. But today is January 31st, and I have officially completed dry January.
So, are you going out to drink tonight?
I'm not. I'm actually not in a rush to start drinking. I would say that the biggest takeaway for me is that it was a lot easier than I thought it was going to be. And, you know, I've obviously talked about it on here in terms of just evaluating my relationship with alcohol. And I feel really good that I'm not like dying to drink. And I'm not saying at all that I'm not going to drink ever again. I don't think that's where I am, but I do feel like this was really beneficial for me. And even last night, Katya stayed the night, and me and Raleigh and her went and got dinner at Musso. And one of the guys is friends with Raleigh, so they brought champagne to the table, and I just pushed it over because I was like, I did not come this far to come this far and not finish it. So
Okay.
I would say I feel really good.
Well, the thing is with drinking, I notice that when I just go like 5 days without drinking, I don't crave it as much. Because when you're drinking like back-to-back days, that like you are just reaching for a glass of wine or tequila or something like that. So it's just like the more time you can space in between the days that you do drink and just really kind of be more intentional about it, it gets easier.
Yeah, I was fine after day 2, but I think that's where I was running into problems, is that when it becomes habitual and you're just like having wine at night when you're by yourself, and sometimes it's because I'm bored or whatever, and I just kind of sat with the fact that it's okay to be bored sometimes. Like that is the human condition.
Are you going to be able to resist Margs at Casa? No.
I don't know. I was thinking about that because we're going this weekend, and I knew that you were going to say that. I don't know, but I also don't think it's so much about like resisting anymore than seeing for me personally if it is something I can incorporate in my life for more like, not that, I mean, Casa is always a special occasion, but more so for me, I would like to see it as something where it's like, I'm going out, I'm celebrating someone's birthday, I'm on a trip, instead of it just being like, I'm bored at 3:00 on a Saturday, I have nothing to do, and I'm just going to drink wine while I'm watching TV. So I feel good about it.
Oh yeah, I definitely try to do like not do that, or I'm just like drinking at home because I'm at home and drinking.
Yeah.
But God, I love wine in a TV show.
Me too. Here's the thing. At the end of the day, even though we love a nice classy wine or whatever, we've talked about it, alcohol is an addictive poison, and some people are able to have that in a really healthy way in their life and some aren't, and I understand. And who knows, maybe I'm being delusional in thinking that I'm going to stick more to the plan of just like when I'm actually doing something instead of falling back into the rut of just because it's easy and, you know, like quick dopamine, it feels good. But honestly, it sounds corny, but I am proud of myself. I always say I'm going to do dry January and I never complete it. So
Well, I'm proud of you.
Thanks. Feels good.
Yeah, it's got to be a good feeling.
Here's what I will say though. Sleeping did not improve, but I obviously have debilitating sleeping issues. I did eat a gummy last night that was 3 milligrams THC and 25 CBD. But to be fair, have been so goddamn tired from not sleeping. I felt like the tiniest bit of a high, like it was coming on, and maybe someone who has more of a tolerance wouldn't even have felt it. But I did that in combination with the sleeping medication you bought me. And by the way, it looks just like a 1 milligram Xanax, which is funny.
Does.
I'm like, what is this?
I want to get those confused.
I did that with freshly changed sheets, and me and Katya started this show called Lioness. Have you heard of it?
I've heard of it. I haven't watched it though. I need to.
She logged me into her sister's account, so I now have access to it, which is great. But it's Zoe Saldana and Nicole Kidman, and it's the same person who did Landman. And
oh, it's Sheridan.
Yeah.
Oh, who also did Yellowstone.
Who did Yellowstone. Yeah. So Dale from Landman was in it, and then because I haven't seen Yellowstone, told me that he's in Yellowstone too. So I feel like he's just all in the projects. And the first episode was really good. And we turned the second, because my chiclet is in my room now. So we turned the second episode on. And I'm always someone who can stay up and keep pushing through. And I was so tired. I was like, girl, I need to ride this wave. And I slept for 12 hours, 11 hours. I needed it. It felt so good.
Ah, I love that for you.
So thanks for the meds.
Yeah, my pleasure.
And I'm hoping, I'm just going to keep doing these gummies. Let's see how much I can kick this thing up a notch. I want to be able to get high so bad.
You can do it. I believe in you.
Okay. Do you want to know what my dream is for 2025?
Obviously.
World peace.
Oh, yeah.
And a delicious carb that matches my health goals. I want soft. I want fluffy. I want the soft, fluffy experience without the guilt. Is it too much to ask for? I think I deserve that.
You absolutely do. That's why Hero Bread exists, so you can make that dream a reality. With Hero Bread, you can focus on your health goals and still indulge in all the things that make life worth living, like bread.
I mean, it's pretty much at the top of my list.
Yeah.
In terms of things that make my life worth living.
Yeah, mama.
Yeah, mama. Thank Godney. And what I love most about Hero Bread is that texture. It's still so fluffy and delicious while being ultra low in net carbs, 0 grams of sugar. And the kicker, Hero Bread, high in fiber. That's the thing as you grow into your grown-up age. You're like, I need more fiber.
Yeah, I love a high fiber moment.
Don't you just?
I'm really excited to try their new 4-gram net carb bagel because I love a bagel.
A bagel and schmear.
Little known fact, I love a bagel. Whip that baby up with a little cream cheese. It's going to be chef's kiss. Even if you're not the biggest bagel fan, which
does that even
I don't know.
Exist?
I don't know.
I don't know that it does.
Hero Bread has a wide variety of products like sliced loaves of bread, tortillas, and dinner rolls.
Tortilla and dinner rolls, we love range. And the best part, there are monthly small batch drops of your favorite indulgent flavors, plus new surprises coming in this year.
Ooh la la. That is amazing news. Other amazing news is that Hero Bread is offering 10% off your order. Go to hero.co and use code disrespectfully at checkout. That's disrespectfully at hero.co. Winter can be extremely harsh on your skin. Like I said, I'm doing dry January, but only my body.
Thank God
only my skin.
Thank God no one's kissing my face. It's like sandpaper. Before Osea.
It's cold and windy outside. Plus, you have the added horror of the dry indoor heat. There's just no moisture anywhere. And that's why I use Osea's Undaria Algae Body Butter. Right now, it's like the only thing that can leave my skin so unbelievably soft and smooth in these terribly drying times.
They are terribly drying times. Here's a pro tip. After your everything shower, turn on some Enya. Trust me, it'll set the vibe.
Ooh,
then slather on a generous layer of Undaria Algae Body Butter. And you know what? Really get up in there. We're big proponents of getting up in there. Make sure you massage it in, you take a deep breath, savor the uplifting citrus scent. It's like a full body moment.
Ooh.
That Enya will really add to it too. I think it helps seal it in.
You just painted a beautiful picture. Light a candle in there and it's
Was it the saying all up in there? I think that's the picture. Yeah.
You're having an experience. I absolutely love that. And the way this body butter smells, like a baby angel's flowing past you, letting its scent gently linger in a beautiful and natural mix of grapefruit, lime, cypress, and mango mandarin.
Maybe put on the cranberries. Do you have to? Do you have to let it linger? That's my favorite mixture of scents pretty much in the world. The amount of compliments I get on my skin and aroma when wearing Osea products, it's incredible. And you know, I love a compliment.
Oh, how Leo of you. Osea stands for ocean, sun, environment, and atmosphere. Did you know that?
I literally didn't know that, and I've been using this product for years.
I know. It's all the natural elements of wellness. It's a promise that every decision, every product is made with consideration of impacts on our planet and our collective well-being.
And all products are vegan, cruelty-free, and use sustainable packaging, which, you know, we're obsessed with. And we're basically saving the world by looking moisturized and hot. So like
my goal in life is just to be hot.
We're basically hot philanthropists.
Exactly. Treat yourself to clean, clinically tested skincare from Osea. And right now we have a special discount just for our listeners. Get 10% off your first order site-wide with code disrespectfully at oseamalibu.com. Do we want to do daddy list or do we want to circle back on something right now?
We need to circle back on something and we're going to do daddy list. Did you see the note that I put in there?
No, but I have something I need to circle back on and I'm scared.
Okay, we have 2 circle backs. One of them is scary. And then let's get into the daddy list. Okay. The circle back I have, I saw a comment of someone when we were talking about Nosferatu and someone was like, Nosferatu is a ripoff of Bram Stoker's Dracula, just so you know. Just so you know, I hope you're listening to this. Nosferatu came out in the 1920s. It was a silent black and white German film. And this was a remake of that film. So I didn't look up the exact date, but it was in the 90s. Winona Ryder wasn't alive in the 20s, okay? Or honestly, she's so timeless. Maybe she was. But my point is, it is a remake of an original from, because they were like, that is not what started vampires or that lore. And I was like, Google is free, FYI.
Yeah, I don't have anything to add, but
that's my circle back. But I know what yours is. Tell them.
Okay, so remember a little while ago when we were talking about the space perfume and how it just smells what were the descriptors?
Terrifying, I believe.
Let me just remind everybody because I'm scared. It was described as scary, sad, rancid, horrifying, dark, bad vibes, a dark room. The actual notes are like rubber, brake pads, raspberries, cookie, burnt steak. It was created by this guy named Steve Pierce, who's a master in aroma chemicals in food and fragrances. By NASA contracted this guy because they wanted to eliminate any, surprises for future astronauts, and apparently space smell being one of them.
All the descriptors you just used describe my 20s.
So
But
of
also
course we had
this.
to like order a little sample of it. I was not gonna spend any money on an entire bottle that's just gonna I don't know. And it came. So we're gonna smell this.
Break it out. And then next time we'll bring smelling salts and see what happens. No, I'm just kidding. Oh, that's what that is. I was wondering what it was. Okay, great.
It's just in a little tiny vial, and
Well, I don't want it on my body, so I feel like we'll spray it like right here in between.
we have to like open it.
Oh, we're just gonna smell it right out of there. Okay, cool.
I'm just gonna like crack it. What if this broke on me? Oh,
Did you get a whiff?
yeah.
Oh my God, I'm scared. I feel like you have to fully open it.
I'm scared.
Ooh, okay. She did it.
The color, there's not a concentrated, not a ton in here, but it does. I don't know. Okay, ready?
It looks thick, doesn't it? It looks more like an oil.
Oh.
Let me smell it.
Yeah. I smell like raspberries. It just smells like.
The consistency of this is actually an oil, and it looks like bubble wands. Remember that? Okay, let's see.
I don't like it.
Oh.
It is a sad smell. It smells like traffic.
I can't believe they made this.
Do you smell the raspberries?
No, it does smell like trap. To me, it smells like a chemical I'm familiar with, but I can't place right now. But it smells weird. How much was the sample?
Oh, like $5, I think. I don't know.
And now it's on my fingers. But
Like it is a slightly sweet. There's a sweetness to it. But it's like, yeah, it's a very like ammonia, like pungent-y smell.
I get what they're saying about the, like, I've never.
It got on my fingers.
Yeah, I know. It's on mine too. No, it's on. I'm not going to smell your fingers. It's on mine too. Do we have hand sanitizer somewhere?
Oh, my stomach just instantly cramped.
Yeah, that is. I get what they're saying about. I don't know that I felt terrified, but I get what they're saying about it. Makes it is just weird.
That's what space smells like.
We're basically astronauts. Love that for us.
Wild. I'm like, that's pretty bad. It's foul.
It's foul. If you feel like blowing a couple bones, I would say it's worth checking out because it's so weird. But yeah,
I have not smelled anything like that.
No,
I like there's things that it kind of reminds me of, like, yeah, maybe some type of chemical or something. Like I definitely smell like the burning rubber or brake pad, or I don't know what it is. I don't get steak.
The rubber. I don't get steak, but the burning rubber or like construction-y plus something weird. It's.
I just imagine like almost like a car skid. If you could smell a car skid mark.
Yeah.
It's like right when it happens. So it's like feels like it smells hot. I don't know, like hot machinery or something.
Hot machinery is a good. I feel like that was a missing descriptor. It's kind of like that was fun. It's like in the joy you would feel in 7th, 8th grade. You do like fun science experiments.
Yeah.
Before you knew the realities of the harshness of the world, it was just like that took me back. So yay for us for doing science.
That was gross though.
We need to get Bill Nye on this podcast so I can make out with him.
Daddy,
if he's single.
Daddy.
Is he single? Do you think? I don't know.
I don't know.
Probably not. I don't know. Let me see. Let me Google it.
Do you want to smell it?
I feel like you should smell it. Sierra, smell it.
Just smell it. Oh no.
No, it's weird. Okay, we're putting hand sanitizer
That
on
is
'cause yuck.
Rubber.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Smell my finger. If you say that to one more person today. Okay, well, that was a good circle back. Is that all you got?
Yeah.
Okay, let's do daddy list and then I want to talk about something awful.
Okay.
Who's on your daddy list?
Okay, we've been talking about it all morning, but like really the big thing for me this week has been Girl Scout cookies.
Yeah.
Like they are they really did the damn thing with Girl Scout cookies. I'm kind of upset that like I wasn't able to come up with something that was so universally craved and loved by people to become so rich off of. They sell like millions and millions of dollars of cookies every year.
Well, I forgot about them until you brought. I feel like I haven't seen
I
any of
don't.
them. I haven't seen any Girl Scouts. You know how they sit at grocery stores and stuff?
Oh, they'll be around. They like literally just came out like this past week.
Mm.
Like literally.
How much does a box go for these days?
I think they're like $5 or something, $6.
Oh, affordable.
So that's the thing, is they're inexpensive. I feel, at least. And I like how they, like, you want to see what the new cookie's going to be that year. this year is the toast yay.
Mm-hmm.
Which
Try it out. Is there usually a new flavor annually?
I feel like almost every year there's something new.
Okay.
Yeah.
Great.
Like last year, I think it was like the Tastyful, which is like a brownie style like cookie. They look really rich and decadent. I didn't get any of those, but I don't know. And just like Thin Mints, they're like nothing is quite like a Thin Mint out of the freezer.
Ugh, refreshing.
Yeah. Oh my God, I can still smell this thing. Yeah. So like that's my daddy list right there. Just cookies.
Okay, that's good. I like that one.
Who's on your list?
I have two things on my list. One of which is it's a Spotify playlist called MySpace Profile Songs.
Oh.
And it's by Kelly Mason. And I discovered this. Where do you think I discovered this?
TikTok.
Obviously. So Kelly made this playlist and made it public and made a TikTok about it. It has been so fun. I put it on shuffle going through. It was like Hollywood Undead, My Chemical Romance. Let me see. Here, I'll show you so you can kind of scroll through it. Paramore, 303, Head Automatica, like stuff like that. So if you want to go back to 2005 when you were dodging predators on MySpace and Dateline was involved, you should go listen to this playlist. It's really fun and I love it.
Oh, wow. Yeah. That's a good list.
It's good. So
yeah.
I love getting someone else's playlist because obviously when you're making your own, you know what's coming and putting them on shuffle so you don't know. It's like a fun surprise.
Just seeing this guy's hair on this art for cover for Never Shout Never brings me back.
He's got
the swoopy. Wow. Okay.
So go ahead and take a listen. The other thing on my daddy list has a part A and B. So I'm going to put Ali Larder and then Landman, which you have put on. I cannot believe how good it is. You were singing its praises, but I finished it in one day because and it's 10-hour-long episodes. It is so goddamn good. Billy Bob looks amazing.
I love him. Like I told you, my head has been on Stetson and bolo ties and just tucked in Wrangler or shirts tucked into some Wranglers or whatever.
He's a tough roughneck, and that man smokes cigarettes and drinks Dr. Pepper, and I love it.
Oh yeah, the way he chain smokes, but he's just God, I love him. But yeah, but Ali
Larder looks so goddamn good. She looks exactly like she did in the 90s, if not better. Honest, I will say that whole cast is really hot. The gal, I don't know her name, but who plays Ensley, Ali Larder's daughter, they're all just so good looking, and it's very well cast and has really complex storylines in the way that they all kind of crash into each other. But yeah, Ali Larder looks, holy shit, she looks so good.
Insane. I'm just so happy that people are watching it now, so I have someone to talk to about it, because I was talking to people and they're like, cool, yeah, like I'm happy that you have a little show you like there. And I'm like, but it's so good. And now people are like, oh my God. I'm like, here we go. Finally.
Well, I have huge plans tonight, and it's to finish Lioness.
Okay.
So, same, we were just talking about same people
I was
who
going to
did it.
start, when we are on the cruise, we're going to start Yellowstone. I've never seen it. Nick has seen it, but like, I'm really excited to watch it because he's like, I think you're going to really, really like it based on like how you responded to Landman and how, I think I'm ready for it.
Well, so even not having seen Yellowstone, I know one of the characters, Beth Dalton, and I know this because I've heard a lot that they've been like, you give Beth Dalton vibes, but I'm pretty sure she's a horrible drunk that beats people up. So I'm like, what?
That's like the one thing I've like heard. He's like, yeah. So
that actress is so hot too. Yeah. So I'm going to start that as well. Well, before we get into the awful thing, you guys, Emo Cruise is coming up and Katie and Nick are going. I am not going this year, which no offense, I'm kind of
by the time you hear this, we'll be on the cruise.
You'll be on the cruise. So tell them your feelings about it. What's going on? There's a really good lineup this year.
It is. So I think the Used is like headlining early November. Got Oh Boys Like Girls. Lydia. I'm really, really excited for Lydia. I've loved Lydia since, I don't know, the early aughts, and I'm just really looking forward to that. State Champs are going to be there. I'm forgetting a bunch right now.
Is Devil Wears Prada coming back?
No.
Oh, okay.
No.
They were great last year.
I know. But it's just going to be a lot of fun. It's always like good hangs. I had a good time last year with you, minus sleeping on the hardest, most uncomfortable bed I've ever experienced in my life. But
yeah, I mean, I obviously had a great time. There was elements about it that I loved. I think that I did a cruise, so I think I can just tick that off my list. Although I do recommend it. It's a very fun experience. But before you started dating Nick, I was already feeling stressed out because I was like, I know she's gonna want to go again, and this is gonna be like, come with me. And then I was like, well, maybe Floor can go or someone. I was like, I just for a multitude of reasons.
Practicing how you're going to say no.
Yes, I've been stressing out about it for months, and then you're dating Nick, and so I was like, oh great, they're gonna go. I figured I was wondering if he was gonna be out of town or on tour or something, but
I mean,
look at God.
I wouldn't force anyone to go with me. And if you were like, I don't feel like going, then I probably just would have sadly missed out. But given everything we learned in last year's cruise, and because we were blindly in the blind, neither of us had been on a cruise, so we truly did not know what to expect and what to prepare for. I feel a lot more confident going in, and I have to be the cruise expert because Nick has never been on a cruise.
Well, he's in for some sorpresas. I can't wait to hear his feedback on it. Should we have Nick on the podcast sometime? Does he ever want to do that?
I don't know. Maybe.
Okay, maybe you guys
he's
chat about it
listening.
privately.
He's listening, so you let me know.
Hi, Nick. Do you want a handful of ducks? I have a solid handful in my purse.
This is where you got into the ducking.
This is what started my ducking passion.
No, I don't.
Okay, we're different, but I don't want to fight right now.
Okay, but I'm excited. I'm really excited for warm weather. I've been freezing for far too long. My friend Greg, who I don't think you met, but he's in Boys Like Girls and he's going on the cruise as well. But he texted me, he's like, "What's the cruise aesthetic?" I'm like, "Dude, I don't even know. I've been a frozen popsicle for like literal months. So trying to get my head around like warm climate and like how to dress for that feels impossible."
Again, I forget that Wichita, Kansas exists and there's winter. There's real winter. I saw a video and someone was like, "We don't have snakes. We don't have this. We don't have earthquakes. No twister." And it was Michigan, but it looked like the day after tomorrow. There was like a railing of ice that I was like, winter is coming. Like, hello, Game of Thrones. And then the ice in the water moving around. And I was like, holy shit.
Well, I went to Nashville and it was all of like, I don't know, 19 degrees there. Then the following weekend, I went to Utah and it was 7 degrees. So a lot of cold in this past month. Like my extremities are just solid.
Yeah, I guess
ice.
Then I was just putting you in LA. You're right. You have been to cold places. I haven't, but it is finally winter here. But
walked home from dinner. Oh, I was going to add this place for dinner to my daddy list. I really like.
It's not too late, babe.
There's this place called Uvo, and I think it's pronounced, I don't know, Uvo, whatever. It's like OUVO. And it's like just a real simple menu of pastas, and all their noodles, all their pasta is flown in every day from Italy. You know, when you eat pasta in Italy, you know, it's just different because there's not a bunch of shit added to it.
Mm-hmm.
And it's some of the best pasta I've ever had. But
where was it? In Utah?
It's in Studio City.
Is it new?
No, it's been there for like a couple of years, I think.
Oh, I hadn't heard of it.
It's in the area where the Sportsman Lodge used to be, and it's like there's Erewhon. Oh, right by your Erewhon.
It's in that thing.
Mm-hmm, it's like next to Tokaya.
I just got to.
But it's such a bummer because you can't make a reservation there. You can order off like Postmates and stuff like that, but you can't make a reservation, so you got to go like early, or just like put your name in and I don't know, go walk around Erewhon for an hour. But it's so good. Anyways, but we were walking home from there and both like shivering and teeth chattering last night. It was, I feel like 45 degrees, which is cold. Which I know, but here that's freezing.
Yeah, I mean, I'm from Seattle. It's freezing in the winter in Seattle. And I lived in Pullman, Washington, which is -10 in the wintertime.
Mm-hmm.
There were days that class was canceled because it was just like your snot froze when you breathed in.
Well, also
so
like the streets are like an ice rink and cars are just sliding all over the place.
Oh, one time going to class late, not like me, the quicker path was to cut across an icy field, or you could go around the heated sidewalks. And I said, you can do it. Who told me to do that? Because I'm not coordinated. I went completely up in the air and landed on my tailbone, and everyone was like, oh, it was one of those. And then I had to walk at a 90-degree angle into class. Anyway, so I've lived in actual cold places. You're from Utah. And I'm telling you, 45 here, it's quite cold.
It's freezing.
Let's get to the awful thing.
What is the awful thing? Do I want to know?
Yeah, I want to talk about the crash, the plane crash and the helicopter. Because so I'm sure you have heard there was a horrible accident in DC with a regional plane that was coming from Wichita. Oh, maybe that's why Wichita was on the brain. Coming from Wichita, and there were no survivors. It was between a Black Hawk helicopter and the plane. And there was an episode of The Daily yesterday that was about it. And the thing is, The Daily about 6 months ago did an episode specifically about the FAA and flight control, what is it called? I'm getting it wrong. The air traffic control. And people have been whistleblowers within that community that you know, they're not supposed to talk to journalists, but people have been because there have been so many issues and so many close calls between not necessarily a helicopter and a plane, but multiple planes almost colliding, and their funding has been cut and different things. And some of these air traffic controllers work 6 days a week, 10 to 12 hours a day. And it has already come out that the air traffic controller that was overseeing this, there's usually a helicopter person that's watching that and one watching the planes, and someone was overseeing both. And they were on a collision course, they knew it, and they asked the helicopter, do you see this plane? And they saw a different plane. So that's how it ended up happening. But it's just so awful and was preventable, which is a huge bummer.
The victims were young.
Yeah.
They were like a figure skating team or something? I don't know, but I saw somebody saying it was so heartbreaking just to see, like, they were showing like clips of like all these kids like in their like figure skating competition, and it's just like, I hate it.
They were coming back from a competition, and the journalist who was on that episode, how she found out about it is one of the air traffic controllers that she had interviewed for that episode texted her and said, I told you so. And she said, what do you mean? And he was like, turn on your TV. So there are places, and it's not just air traffic control, but there are a lot of places in different industries in the United States that directly impact our health and safety that have been cut. And it's just like, there are certain places we should not be cutting corners.
No, but it makes me, not to be like a tinfoil hat, but like, why would they cut something like that? It should be something that's not even touched.
Yeah. Well,
or like that would be off limits for this type of budget cuts. But like,
well, there was an executive order about 10 days ago, 11 days ago, that was specifically speaking to this and stripped even more resources. And
how that's been addressed and handled since has been completely disgusting, of just like the standing 10 toes down on it.
Yeah, and passing blame. I don't think anyone wants, sure, we'll get down to the nuts and bolts of how this failure happened, but I think right now what people want is solutions and how we can feel good about traveling, in a commercial flight.
I think that's a big thing too, is just like how people will be so paranoid now to travel by plane. And I mean, as they should, as am I. And I think, that the airline industry will feel that a lot too. So, I mean, listen, someone's got to do something.
Have you historically been a nervous flyer?
I am, but for like almost like the irrational things of like turbulence and stuff like that, which I've watched. We've talked about how we watch like pilots on like their Instagram or their TikTok explaining like the noises that you'll hear on the plane, those like the little like dinging for the phones, that like what that means and how turbulence actually works and why it's not something to be necessarily scared of. But I never considered plane collisions to be on that list of concerns.
Yeah.
Until now.
I mean, I think maybe I have touched on it, but I was formerly the chick from Bridesmaids that was like, I had a dream last night. You were in it. We went down. Like, that's actually how I used to be. And then I got better over the years, particularly reminding myself, don't live it twice. And, things can happen. But yeah, when we're in the care of those people, and I understand that they're doing the best they can with limited resources. But I hope there's big changes that come from this. And obviously we are just completely feeling for the families. Also, I'm just going to do a quick basement because it's bigger than basement, and then we'll go back to the basement because it's just occurred to me. I saw there was a man there waiting for his wife, and a camera crew of reporters ran up to him and was like, tell us what your thoughts and feelings are, blah, blah, blah. And then they were like, what is the last text you got from her? And the wife had said, we're taking off. And they're like, can we see it?
What?
And the man was so like caught off guard. He just pulled out his phone and showed it. Shame on you. I'm literally thrilled that I didn't end up being a field reporter, which was my dream back in the day and like how I started my career. That is so awful and predatory. This person is sitting there saying like, I'm just praying. We're waiting to hear about, I want to know what's happening with my family, and get out of his face, asking him to see his phone. That man was better than me, because I would have taken my phone out and smacked him in his mouth with it.
Yeah. Oh my God. That is disgusting.
Yeah. It's real loser behavior.
Well, I hope that everyone gets the answers that they're looking for and a safe place to grieve.
Same.
But we can turn this around.
I hope so.
Lighten the mood a little bit. I feel weird just being like, anyway, but I just don't want to be dragging everyone down. There's another show I really enjoyed and I started watching.
Tell us.
I think it's a Discovery Plus show. It's called Oddities.
Ooh.
It is it is so wildly entertaining. It's this shop in New York. I think it's called like Obscura or something, but they sell oddities, and it's almost like what was that one where people bring their stuff into the pawn shop?
Pawn Stars.
Pawn Stars. So that's what it reminds me of, but with like weird shit. So people coming in search of things, or they have something they want to sell. One person came in and they're convinced they had fossilized dino poop, and he was very certain it wasn't. But this one girl,
what was it? A clump of cement?
it looked like poop, but
His dog shit?
yeah, I don't know.
Like, it's a Rexosaurus.
But the characters of people that come through there are so crazy. There's this girl, so she's like, I used to be a model, but now I'm a designer, and she had a crazy look in her eye. She was odd, but like she was very like just an artist, and she was very very much that. But she was looking for an autopsy table, like a medical steel like autopsy table for her photo shoot.
Was it Elena?
For her photo shoot? No. For her photo shoot for her clothing line. And they're like, okay. So of course they find someone, like on Facebook Marketplace looking to, he's like a contortionist, and he used to do his contortionist act on this thing. And it's like this fold out, really scary looking table. And they're like, it's like had these like
metal?
These whole, yeah, but it was almost like a dark, like a copper metal or something, but not copper, but it was like that color. It wasn't like a steel. And it had these like holes on it, like almost like a vent. And they're like, yeah, they used to put like ice under there to like ventilate or what. I don't know. Do you know what I'm trying to say?
Keep things cool?
To keep things cool, to keep the body cool. So they would just like put ice underneath the table. It was very odd. But so they found it for her, and she brought it to him. She's like, she loved it.
Did she get it?
Yeah. There's another girl who's coming in looking for a long sword because she was a sword swallower. Try to say that 10 times fast. She was a sword swallower, and she did it right there. And they're like, how do you like learn to do that? And she goes, it's relaxing a series of gag reflexes. You have like more than one apparently.
Yeah, and that's quite dangerous, I would imagine.
Yeah. So anyways, check this show out if you like weird, creepy shit. The best one was this guy who thought he had a baby skull. It didn't look like a baby skull. And the guy's like, no, what you have is like far more rare. It was a whale ear. And it was like this big.
A whale ear?
A whale ear. So it looked like a bone, And the guy's like, this is really like unique. Like you don't see these anymore. He's like, oh, okay, cool. And he's like, have you been using this as an ashtray? He's like, yeah. The past few years, I didn't know what it was.
And he thought it was a baby skull, so he was just using it as an ashtray.
Which makes it worse.
Yes.
Which makes it worse. What he thought was a baby skull, he found appropriate to use as an ashtray. But anyways, check it out. It's great.
What do you
Great
like
fun.
more about it? Is it the people that and how weird they're coming and seeking and selling, or like the things that they have?
Both. The
Okay.
characters that come through there, or like the one of the girls that like owns the shop, her fiance, it was his birthday. Oh, was it his birthday or their anniversary? One of the two. So she was looking for something really special to give him. And of course he had some like interesting hobbies and interests, but she's like, he really likes trains. So what can I do? She found the wooden arms that belonged to somebody that worked on railroads, and like found him where he signed his name into some type of like ledger, but she found his wooden arms. He's like, this is great. I'm like, this is fucking weird. Like literally, like that is my version of like what to get the person who has everything.
What happened to a good old fashioned blowy? I'm like, that's a gift that keeps on giving.
A gift certificate.
That's a great anniversary gift. Nice gift certificate to Chili's.
Yeah.
Also, Chili's sponsor us. We talk about you all the time. Okay, I'm gonna check that out. We'll add that to my list of things I'm doing this evening.
You'll know what I mean. Like when you watch it, you just gotta watch it just to like these people are so out there, and I mean not in the most respectful way possible, but like they're just it takes a particular type of person to like work in those places, and I want to go to the shop next time in New York because like who knows what I'll find in there. But
well, speaking of weird people, we also watched the Jerry Springer Netflix documentary.
yeah, not as good as I was hoping it would be. My favorite part was when you're like, where's Jerry? When is he coming out?
Yeah, we're like an episode
Dude, he's
in.
dead.
I think it's 3. I must have missed school that day because he's dead. I did not know that. So I was like, I wonder why Jerry's not being interviewed. Do you think it's like legal reasons? And Katie was like, he is dead. What are you talking about?
He dead.
Like they would crack out the Ouija board for that one. But yeah, it wasn't as good as I thought it was going to be. But it was definitely looking back at a capsule in time of what people used to be able to get away with,
Yeah.
which is actually insane. And, you know, so many people come on there and reveal horrible secrets and whatever. And I'm like, can you imagine the people who got blindsided who think they're going on it for some random reason, and then they bring them on and they're like, I'm having sex with my cousin and I'm not stopping. And it's just like, what?
I'm not stopping. That's exactly what they were. Yeah.
So crazy. Yeah, it was different than I thought it was going to be, but it was definitely more about like the dark side of things, and from a production perspective, what the producers had to go through, and, you know, following these people. Like one of them, they were talking quite literally about a dad and daughter that were sleeping together, which is
I always
so
wondered
upsetting.
how much of it was actually real, because you know, because then was born like the Maury's of the, and I love when you were sitting home from school sick and Maury came on, I never felt better.
Maury reminds me of the throw up bowl and chicken noodle soup. That's the essence of Maury.
Oh my God, when it's just like, when they do their like prepackaged thing before they come out, they're like, I'm 13 and my mom can suck my dick. Basically, like, I want to do what I want. I'm going to go out to whatever time I want. I'm going to smoke. I'm going to drink. And she can't do anything about it. These like kids are so sassy. And I'm just like, oh my God.
Oh, those kids walked so Daniel Bergoli could run. Catch me outside. How about that? So
She was one of them.
She was one of them, but she wasn't a Maury one. But actually, specifically, myself and my sister and her best friend Lisa, in our group chat, quote, at least once a week. There's one, I can't remember her name, but I did a Reddit deep dive on her like a few months ago, because I wanted to see where she is now. Apparently, she's married with kids and is a nurse. But if you remember who I'm talking about, you will know. She was like, I'm not having sex with one, not two, but 3 different guys. I'm trying to have a baby. And she was like, and if I can't afford clothes for my baby, then I guess I'll have to steal it. She was like, I have 5 pacifiers. And it kept cutting back to her in those weird packages they would put together. And she like had them on her hands. And she was like, I'm gonna have a baby. And it was such an iconic blip from that show, and it's still so quotable. So yeah, apparently she's on the straight and narrow now, but she was desperate, and she was like 14 or 15, and she was so desperate, and she was like, I already have 2 blankets, and she like held them up like this. It was a really wild time.
Oh, the best was when they would do the paternity test reveals, and then the Maury run would happen.
Oh yeah, and the camera. Oh my God, okay, it's like the cops, like the same cameramen were on cops or running, chasing these people through these mazes, and they just like realize the most devastating information of their life, and they're like crying in a corner, and the cameraman's like zooming in. Ruthless.
Oh, I miss those days.
Well, I used to wonder, like, how does that happen? Someone doesn't know who's the father of their kids, and I became an adult, and I was like, oh, I could see how that happens. For sure.
Yikes.
And then I become a big girl, and I was like, oh.
Then I learned some adult lessons.
Yeah.
Yeah, that shit's fucking wild.
Madonna, or Madge, as some might remember, always say time goes by slowly, but personally, I don't agree. Time has been flying by recently, and it's honestly hard to keep up.
Well, do I have some good news for you?
Thank God I need some. Lay it on me.
No matter how fast time seems to be flying by, it's never too late to make progress. If you're saving up for a big purchase like a home or car and need to build credit fast, Kikoff can help.
They're the #1 credit building app in the App Store, and plans start at only $5 a month. No credit check, no hidden fees, and no interest. Look, a lot of people are on a credit building journey.
Yeah.
And it's always good to check
I've been there.
Uh-huh.
I know what that's like.
Yeah, when I was younger and in my 20s, I definitely did not have as good credit as I do now. It's been an ongoing journey, and I like to check in with it, and Kikoff makes that easy.
It does, yeah, because you don't realize like how important credit actually is until you can't get approved for a loan, you can't get an apartment, and then you're just like, wow, I really need Kikoff in my life.
Well, and also it impacts so many different things, and you can get better interest rates and what, you know, the higher your credit is and all of that. So it really is super valuable.
My credit got destroyed because I had identity theft.
You did.
So I mean, listen,
who wouldn't want to be you though?
But thank God that Kikoff exists. Kikoff is a credit line that's just for credit building, not everyday spending.
If your credit is under 600, you could jump like 28 points in your first month. Kikoff is a smart, legit credit hack with no catch, no credit check, no hidden fees, and no interest, which is so important.
It's simple. You make one-time payments, credit bureaus see good behavior and your credit grows fast.
Kikoff is super affordable, easy, and effective to use. Because if it's not easy, you're not doing it. So.
I know. Start building credit immediately for only $1 your first month. With AutoPay, you never have to worry about missing a payment, so you can build credit in your sleep.
Sign up in minutes from your phone. No credit check. Cancel at any time.
Kikoff is a safe and trusted credit solution. Kikoff is the #1 credit building app out there. It has over 100,000 positive reviews on the App Store, and 98% are 5 stars.
Building credit can happen faster than you expect with Kikoff. Don't wait and get your first month for just $1 at getkikoff.com/disrespectfully.
That's Kikoff without the C. Get 80% off at getkikoff.com/disrespectfully.
Must sign up via getkikoff.com/disrespectfully to activate offer.
Offer applies to new customers first month only. Subject to approval. Offer subject to change. Terms and conditions may apply. Point stat based on Equifax Vantage Score 3.0 changes for Kikoff. Users starting under 600 who made their first on-time payment between January 2021 and March 2024. Payment and credit activity outside Kikoff can have an impact on your credit. Individual results may vary. Also, in the nostalgic realm of things, did you watch the Tom Green documentary?
I haven't yet. That's the third thing. I'll watch it this weekend, though.
Just what a legend. He should be on the daddy list, too. He's looking real land Mandy right now.
Well, you told me about it, but tell them about it.
So Tom Green came out with his own documentary that he produced himself and directed, but it was like such an amazing like timeline compilation sort of run back of like his entire career from when he like very first started. He just was like he was an ingenue, like he was doing what no one was doing yet. Before Jackass,
he had his own show.
So yeah,
right?
he had his own show on
MTV.
like. No, I mean, well, it came to MTV, but it started he's from Ottawa, Canada, and so it was on some like public service access channel there that him and his friends just did, where he would just do crazy pranks. He'd prank his parents a lot, whether he was like painting their house plaid or putting a cow's head in their bed. Like the best was then when he did on the hood of their car, it was like a. You know when they do those like graffiti, like airbrush paint murals or something? It was like that, but on the hood of the car, and it was one girl going down on another girl, and it said, "I'm a little slut." On his parents' car, and his dad was so mad. He started walking to work, and he's like, "My dad can't take the bus to work. I gotta go pick him up." And then he picks up his dad, and everyone starts laughing. So then the dad, like his dad, does start laughing. He's like, "Okay, like I guess people think it's funny."
I wish he'd paint that on the hood of my car. If I didn't have a lease, I'd tell him do it.
I'm a little slut. But just, he was so wild and out there. But it talks about then when his show got bought by MTV and now he's here. And then him and Drew Barrymore, because he went and did Charlie's Angels. I didn't know that she'd asked him that she was a fan of his, the whole thing.
That's what I was asking you about. So if you do not remember, Drew and Tom Green were married.
For 1 year.
For a year. And I thought that they were married already when they did Charlie's Angels. But Katie informed me that that's what they met on. But I remember his character being Tom Green. He basically played himself, but his name was Chad. He called himself the Chad.
The Chad was so great. And then, did you ever watch Freddie Got Fingered?
A long time ago. Like, I couldn't even tell you.
It got really mixed reviews, but mostly terrible reviews. But a really good write-up by the New York Times. It's called it a masterpiece. But he was nominated for like 8 Razzies, and he was the only celebrity or actor to go and accept the Razzie, and he took it like very seriously and was talking about like the accolades of, you know, the evening. I don't know, but I just think, you know, I love Tom Green. I respect him. I think as much as it was gross a lot of the time, I thought it was really funny and again innovative. Jackass started after all that, but now he sold his Los Angeles home and is now living on like a huge chunk of land in Canada and just like has like farm animals and like a dog. And
I see him just playing bongo drums to a sheepdog for sure. Like I just see him as doing weird shit
he's
around
got
his
like
property.
a beard. He wears, you know, cowboy hat. He's really looking
You're
the part.
really having a moment.
I'm having a moment. I'm like, is Tom Green hot?
Who was I just discussing this with? My debilitating fear. This is honestly one of the worst things that could happen to me, of someone pushing over a porta potty when I'm in it because of Jackass. Here's the thing.
Yeah.
I avoid a porta potty at all costs. It's definitely a tick of mine. Like I know people, no one likes them, but I like, it's like my nightmare being in there, and I'm such a germ freak and I hate it. But I'm like, That show truly traumatized me for life. I don't think there's a likelihood ever of that happening to me, but like that show,
just
loved it.
You
But
know
that
when
really
you step
stuck with me.
into a porta potty at a festival of all things, and it just smells so rank, and it's just wet everywhere. Why is it wet everywhere? There's one singular
Literally just
hole.
got the chills.
Why is the wall
Ooh.
wet? You know, that is a fear of many, I think.
That's why, I mean, this sounds bougie, but guess what it is? Honestly, you with traveling is me with Coachella. Artist guest pass is
Oh,
like,
I wouldn't.
that's what
I wouldn't go
need.
to a festival without that either.
Guess what? They have fancy potties back there, and it makes
Mhm.
me absolutely chuffed to bits. I am just thrilled.
Trust me, I need something cozy and I need a sink to wash my hands in.
Yeah. Speaking of weird MTV things, I think I put this on our podcast note a long time ago, but I don't think we ever talked about it. Did we talk about jailbait?
Oh no, I thought we were going to talk about spring break.
Well, we're going to come back to that too.
What is jailbait?
So MTV back in the day, I remember Together, and it was spelled instead of T-O with a 2. They used to have original movies. I still remember the song. I'm not going to sing it because I'm not going to torture you. I know my calculus. You plus me equals us. So they had these original movies that I was
they had
always...
all of them. Say it, don't spray it. I want the news, not the weather.
Okay, so that's Katie singing. There was a bunch of them, and for some reason, one popped into my random little brain. It's available on Tubi, which is that free app that you just have to watch commercials, which I don't know why I'm saying this if it's new, because I think people knew about it and just
it's been a
you
while
all
for
were
a minute.
fucking chatting and not telling me. So it's on that. I watched it. It is called Jailbait because it's about an adult having sex with a 15-year-old. I mean, he's 18, but still, they show teens absolutely fucking in it. Supposed teens, naked, boobs out, everything. And so I don't know if it's a more rated R version for Tubi or whatever, but it is, if you have not seen it and you have Tubi, please go watch Jailbait. I was ingesting that as a 7-year-old. Why the fuck were we watching that?
I wasn't, but you were. I was watching Maury. More wholesome family program.
It was the craziest thing I've ever seen. So please go watch that and get back to us. Anyway, speaking of cesspools full of chlamydia, I watched a clip the other day of MTV Spring Break. The way that I dreamt of going to Cancun someday and throwing ass again I'm like the kid from Mean Girls. I was so excited to go. It never ended up happening for me, but Spring Break MTV.
Oh my God. No, that was goals. That was fucking goals. And then they would pick random girls to dance on whatever the fuck. I was like, and I got to do that.
Yes.
No way in hell was I ever going to get to go. But no. When I watched it and I was just, and then NSYNC would perform. I'm like, oh, they're all so lucky. Remember that they would perform during some swimsuit fashion show and the girls would dance with them. And I'm like, oh my God, I wish that could be me.
Well, and they had it all wet t-shirt contests, all this weird shit. Again, they're all sitting, they built the stage around this water that is stagnant and 2 feet. So it's basically like a Vegas pool that you're just rolling the dice hoping you don't get staph infection. And I just wanted it so bad. And they just don't do that kind of shit. I always
remember the Spring Break that Cisco performed Thong Song. I loved that song. I still love that song.
I love that music video. Again, watching that when I was 6, and I'm like, why was that my favorite song?
Why were you allowed to watch it?
Well, because my mom was a fucking weirdo who made me afraid of murderers and was super paranoid and really strict about curfew and things like that, but then was out here letting me get my belly button pierced when I was 13. I got that for my 13th birthday. I think that they were trying to monitor what I was ingesting a little bit, but I just did not give a fuck. And I hung out at the bad kids' houses, and then would where their parents were not honestly drug addicts and not paying attention to us. And then I was doing stuff like that.
Yeah, no, MTV was non-existent in our house, but I had a TV in my room with antennas.
Mm-hmm. Do you get channels 1 through 5 or what?
No, you could get any channel you wanted. You just had to finesse them. I watched TRL for 2 or 3 years by Bunny Ear. Just very snowy, where it's fuzzy. It was extremely fuzzy, but I got to watch it. And then eventually when we got digital cable, remember when digital cable came out? It was just part of the package. And I was like, what are you going to do about it now? Huh?
Catch me outside. How about that? Terry.
Oh my God. I was so fucking excited.
For TRL, I remember my sister used to grab me by my backpack straps and run. My sister has always been tall. We're tall, but she's taller than me. With her long ass legs, and she's like, "We're gonna miss it," and would grab me when we were walking back from school and to get home and get to TRL. And
that was
also
really important.
To be fair, our parents were gone before we got up at a we were very latchkey and they didn't get home till later. So we also were left to our own devices, like, you know, coming home from school. And it was like you had to get home to see the 12 seconds of each music video that they let you see. And like TRL was so poppin'.
Oh my God. They also just don't make music videos like they used to anymore, which is such a bummer. Like, I remember all of Christina's music videos. Well, Genie in a Bottle, obviously, but Come On Over is a legendary music video. They don't make them like that anymore. All of NSYNC's videos, works of art.
Did you guys have the box, the channel The Box?
I don't know what that is.
So in Seattle in the 90s, it was Channel 98, I remember, and all they did was play music videos all day. But there wasn't like a Carson Daly or anything. It was just music videos, and it was like the top 40s. And I used to be just mesmerized.
I just remember in the morning, MTV would be playing like strictly music videos like really early. And so like getting ready for school, I would just be listening to music videos or half watching them. Those were the times. MTV's, do they play any music on there now?
Oh, I don't even know. Probably not. Well, but I did see MTV Productions did Landman and Lioness, so they're definitely helping with shows
it's a
these
production
days.
company, but just, I mean, they did try to reboot TRL with what's his face?
With Carson?
No, with Matt Rife.
Ugh. Well, now we know why that failed. I remember also, like, in terms of, again, like what I'm ingesting, you know what my mom always used to say? I was watching Sex and the City as a 10-year-old live when it was on TV. And she would just like cover my eyes for certain parts. And she'd be like, she'd let me watch rated R movies and be like, as long as I'm here for context, let me tell you, Julia, I love you. Not a single time did she give me any context about anything that I was watching. So I don't know why I was watching that. And I remember I had Eminem's first, I think it was his first album with the song Kim on it.
Yeah.
Or maybe it was, I don't know, because he had like his EP. So I don't know if it was his first LP. But my mom didn't know what it was. So she bought me the CD. And then her friend was like, this Eminem, blah, blah, blah. And she took it from me because I also had the parental advisory one and they were just like, fuck it, here you go, kid. And she fucking took that CD from me. I remember I was so upset.
That happened to me. Do you remember those things that come in the mail? And it was like, you can get 10 CDs or cassettes for 1 cent, but you have to sign up for like a subscription basically that will charge you. So me and my brothers were like, yes. So we would do it. And then, of course, my mom had to like cancel it and she hated it as far as we're like, but just a cent. And I remember I wanted the TLC Crazy Sexy Cool album on, it might have been cassette. So it shows up and my mom goes, Crazy Sexy Cool for an 11-year-old? I don't think so. And she took it from me. I'm like, it's not even that bad. Well, it was,
you know, there's on Spotify, there's now playlists for now. It's like now 106 or whatever is coming. Like there, it
387.
Never stopped. But we loved Now was the top 40s, and the first one I had like 1 through 10.
Oh, I had all at least the 1 through 6 maybe.
Right, until it phased out with technology. But if you ever want to take a trip down memory lane, you go look at the Now playlist. They're really funny.
Oh God, yeah, those were the years.
And now we're here, and it's awful. Oh my God,
because
you guys, again, why did no one prepare me for life? Thank God for TikTok. Did you know that there is a filter in your dishwasher that you were supposed to clean every 3 months?
Yeah.
And there is a filter in your washing machine. Same thing. Hello. Why has no one told me this? I'm now avoiding it because I'm so scared. Guess what? I have been an adult for 12 years. Technically out of college, I would count as adult life starting. Not at a single place. My last place, I lived for 3 years. I'm at my current place for almost 4. Didn't know this. Haven't looked at it. There is a filter you are supposed to clean out. Why did no one tell me this?
Especially if you're like renting, because you know those units have seen their days. But yeah, no, I did hear about this a few years ago. Also, I take it one step further. Your dryer, you know, when you pull out the lint thing, you can actually remove that whole like lint catch thing because lint will get trapped down in there, and that's kind of can be kind of scary. I cleaned my old place. The amount of lint I pulled out was I could have made like 2 basketballs out of. Like, it was insane because especially when I noticed like my clothes just like weren't drying ever. And so I did that. So yeah.
It's also a fire hazard, but I need to take a look at it. Maybe that's why I have had a cough for 8 years and even before I was vaping. So I'm like, that is so creepy.
Have you done it? Have you pulled it out?
No, I don't want to look at it.
Oh,
no,
it's actually not that bad. If you rinse your plates and everything before you put in there, it's actually not bad at all. Just use really hot water and dish soap. You'll be fine.
Here's a question for you. How often, if you have a water dispenser, which is Lux, I'm aware this is the only place I've ever had it in LA, in your fridge, how often are you supposed to change those filters?
They say every 6 months.
Okay, I had to request it. Again, my building is not being proactive about it. I had to request it like probably a year ago, so I need to ask for it again. But again, that was like over 2
They're
years.
expensive too. They're like $50.
Well,
because my water on my fridge stopped dispensing, which is why I'm waiting for a...
did your guy come back yet?
No, not yet. But I'm very, very upset about it. I miss my fridge water.
Yeah, it's real good stuff. But basement for the 5-hour window and them missing it. So speaking of, who's in your basement this week?
In my basement, I have everyone that ever gets on social media and now is an expert in whatever's happening. So with the whole like Luigi Mangione thing, everyone was a forensic specialist. When it's something else, everyone's with the Justin Baldoni, Blake Lively thing, everyone's a fucking lawyer. Every time we turn around and there's like some kind of big news happening, everyone's a fucking expert on the topic. And it gets so annoying because that's how misinformation happens. Just conflicting arguments nonstop. It's fine if you want to have opinions or debate, but when people want to come on here and like act like they know everything about something, or think about during COVID, everyone was a virologist. Like, we have experts for a reason. Let people do their damn jobs.
Yeah. Armchair experts.
Yep. That's my basement this week.
Okay. Well, I have 2. One is rather large. So there has been a plan from this current administration to put 30,000 migrants on Guantanamo Bay.
Yep.
Made a TikTok about this. If you are not familiar or don't remember, Guantanamo Bay is a stain on our country's legacy. Serial, the podcast, season 4, I was talking to you about this, did a whole season about Guantanamo Bay and the cascading failures and ways in which we violated human rights, tortured people. It's horrible. At its peak, Guantanamo Bay housed 800 people. So to build a facility that is going to house 30,000 people, and some of these people are just being accused of being migrants. And, again, the language initially was we're sending all these undocumented people back to their home country. So how the fuck did we go from sending them back to their home country to sending them to a modern day concentration camp?
Yeah.
Guantanamo Bay.
Well, they said that they were coming off of battlefields, which is not entirely true.
Again, it's fear-mongering to say these are all rapists and murderers, obviously.
And terrorists and things like that. Like, it is insane.
Most people who come here and undocumented want to keep their heads down, undetected, and do the, hard work that a lot of people don't want to do at a decreased pay. But you can't say that all those people are murderers and rapists. It's absolute propaganda. And by the way, what about all the white men that were born here who rape and murder every day? So, and
school shootings and like some of the most insane acts of horror and violence are done by white men. I don't know.
So here's the thing. You can take this for what it was and say that I'm being political. In my opinion, this shouldn't be a political issue. It's just human rights.
It's humane.
It just makes me really upset. So there's that. And then speaking of upsetting people, this snatch that cut me off yesterday and was the problem and then flipped me off, like she was at a stop sign and I was coming up, and my car, there was still room for her to get behind me if she wanted to take a left. And then she honked her horn and I was like, what are you doing? She wasn't taking a left. She was following me, and the light ahead of me was green. So it was like immediately moving. And then she followed me. So I guess didn't cut me off, but was just being annoying. And she followed me with her finger out like that for an amount of time. And I was like, girl, knock it off. So,
dude,
ding dongs with road rage.
Who hurt her?
Who hurt you?
Go get some Girl Scout cookies.
She needs a Girl Scout cookie.
She needs a couple, I would say.
Stat.
Well,
okay.
That'll do her.
Well, I think that's the episode.
Yeah, well, I'm going to go cruise now.
Have fun on the cruise.
I'll be missing you. I'll tell everyone you say hi.
I'll tell every single one. Okay, love you, bye.
Love you, bye.
Babe, you're going to see the power of women. Like,
Disrespectfully.